It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Yonder Beer, and this is a can of the Millionaire. Look at that. It's from their Wonky series. It's very good, isn't it? 5% ABV. It's described as a caramel, chocolate, shortbread, pastry stout beer. And of course it has designs of Monopoly, doesn't it? Yeah, it's perfect really. If you think of the season that they brewed this beer in, we're coming up to winter. Lots of people are probably thinking about playing Monopoly on Christmas Day in the evening with a couple of beers, bit of fun with the family. And they can do that whilst drinking a caramel, chocolate, shortbread, pastry stout beer. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of carbonation on the can opening. A little bit of smoke, as I should say. That's my catchphrase, isn't it? A little bit of smoke on the opening. I met many beer fellow professionals, if you like, and they all rib me for it. They all give me a nudge in the ribs saying, why do you say that? Smoke, bit of smoke on the opening. And I said, well, you guys write books. You guys do a very different thing to me. I need to bring a bit of drama to YouTube, otherwise nobody's going to watch. So I could use carbonation like everybody else uses, but I like a bit of smoke. A bit of smoke on the opening, a bit of individual flair on the opening. One finger, tan coloured head, jet black beer in the glass. It's got an interesting aroma. I can smell it from here as I poured it. It's like a chocolatey, rich, shortbready, yeah, that sort of beer. I want to introduce let's do a bit of a beer review first, and then we'll come to the nearest beer shop who were kind enough to send me this beer. Always got that. It's definitely got that kind of pastry. It is a pastry stout, isn't it? Well, yes, they call it a pastry stout. It's got that kind of Venice. Bear with me. It's got this kind of Venice, Paris, chocolatier pastry shop. Do you know, you see all the fine pastries when you go to Venice or you go to Paris? You see these pan of chocolats in the window and they all look so fantastic, and you go in the shop and you can smell the pastry, you can smell the chocolate. It's pretty much what's going on here. You can smell the caramel here too. Let's dive in. Cheers everybody. It's like a cold, I nearly said Horlicks, probably little bit Horlicks. A cold hot chocolate mixed with Horlicks. That's the best description I can give this beer. A little bit of carbonation to begin with. It's a Christmassy type beer in there. It's got Monopoly on the front. I love it when these breweries, you know, for years and years and years, we had Santa's Elf in a 500ml bottle, or we had Rudolph's Revenge, or Santa's clobber, or it was like really, and the beer wasn't that good either. From these, you see it in supermarkets around this time of year, November, December. It's that kind of like generic, that's the word, generic, poor quality supermarket beer. I've got 3 bottles in the fridge I'm about to review. Yeah, Santa's ears, Santa's elf ears, those sort of like, they just write something on the back of a beer mat in a pub and they go, that's a great idea for a beer. What I like about the naming of this beer is that they kind of slightly cross-reference Christmas by, of course, looking at the style, caramel, chocolate, pastry, shortbread, that's a very kind of like, if you like, wintry sort of beer. And then they've referenced Monopoly on the front of the can, which again, lots of people played Monopoly at Christmas. So I think they've been very clever here at Yonder Brewing, in that they've come up with a Christmas beer that without referencing Christmas. It's quite funny, it's quite interesting, it's very clever. Which brings me to the nearest beer shop. This is today's channel sponsor, 5% off when you use the voucher code Stone the Crows, all lowercase, and then it's free delivery over £60. I did say 5%, didn't I? Not £5. It's 5%. I've done that before. So 5% off when you use the voucher code Stone the Crows, and free delivery over £60 on your order. They have over 250 beers in stock. I was there on the weekend. And I was drinking Augustiner Dunkel. And then I bought another bottle of Augustiner Dunkel. And I drank that on the train. And then I drank an Augustiner lager at the nearest beer shop. All their beers are cold stored in fridges, so it's an amazing place. I ended up there on a bus by accident. I should have been in Lantwick Major, but I ended up in Bridgend, and I seen an old glossy pub on the corner called the Railway, and it looked like if I went in there, the best I would be offered is maybe a star of Pramen if I'm lucky. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give that one a miss, and I'm gonna go down the road to the nearest beer shop. Yeah, I drank a bottle of Augustiner for like £3.80, and then I drank some Augustiner Dunkel for £4 a bottle, and I was in my element, thinking I'd be paying £4 for a dirty old pint of bitter in the Railway if I didn't decide to come in here. I'm so glad I did, because I'm drinking like incredible German beer. So please check out the nearest beer shop. They've got some fantastic beers. They really have in their store. Not just that, they got ciders and rums and meads and all sorts of things going on. It's brilliant, and it's right next to the train station. If you need a train beer, like I did, I was like that, rubbing my hands together. I was drinking an Augustiner Dunkel on the train. Ooh, job done. So Yonder Millionaire, let's rate it. When these guys first started out, they actually reached out to me and said, would you review our beer? And they're based in Somerset. They've been going now a few years. Yeah, it's an interesting history there. But rating for this, it's an interesting pastry stout. It's an interesting pastry stout. It's a beer that, if I was in a bar or a bottle shop, or if I had a can in the fridge, I'd be happy to drink one. I'd be happy to drink one of these, and then I'd be looking to move on to something else. For me, you couldn't session 4 of these. I mean, people probably do, but I'd want to drink one of these beers and then move on to something else. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.